Hello, everyone. This is Mike from Dimensional Walking, and today we are going to talk about a major event that is going to happen tomorrow. Okay, it's going to be a hearing, a subcommittee hearing that is going to talk about UFOs, and it could be blockbuster. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm skeptical, but this looks like it could actually be some really interesting information, and in a very positive way. And I want to I'll go over a few questions or a few things to look for. And if you see or hear these things, then it will be a blockbuster. Okay, if you don't, if it's just a normal dance, then it's just a normal dance. Anyways, this is really the first congressional hearing on UFOs in about 50 years. Okay, so let that sink in for a minute. 50 years. That's pretty big. It's really big. And kind of unfortunately, if this was normal times in the world, and we didn't have a war, we didn't have a pandemic, we didn't have all the other stuff, climate change, if we didn't have all that other stuff swirling and whirling, this would be a huge, huge story, and would probably take up a lot of time on the news reporting, the stations. It isn't. It is out there, though. It is out there. I mean, there's been little brief mentions of what is going to happen tomorrow. So it's going to be, again, May 17th tomorrow, and it's going to be at 7 o'clock Pacific time, and it's going to be, that would be about 10 o'clock on Eastern time, and it's going to be on YouTube live. I think CNET is going to sponsor it, and you can get it if you just go onto YouTube and just, I guess, Google it'll be Congressional UFO Hearing, UFO Hearing. Make sure you put UFO in there, otherwise you'll get all kinds of congressional hearings. But the UFO hearing, and you can probably put today's date in, but I think it'll pop up pretty easily. I don't think this is, going to be hard to find it. Anyway, so it's going to be live, so you might as well, if you can get up that early, if you're on the West Coast, like I am, I plan to kind of give it a shot to get up before 7 and take a look at it and see what it says. So very, very important. Now, this subcommittee, just so you know, it's a pretty important subcommittee. It isn't just a random couple guys getting together and chatting. This is the Intelligence Subcommittee of Congress, and it is chaired by Adam Schiff. I think most of you probably will know Adam Schiff. He's a Democrat from California. He's been kind of in the middle of a lot of stuff the last several years. Pretty good guy, I think. He typically tries to get to the truth no matter what it is. So I'm looking for something pretty interesting. Now, they claim they're going to have two officials from the Pentagon on there that are current. That's different than in the past. When you hear news people talk about UFOs, it's usually somebody that's retired, blah, blah. This is somebody, these are two guys. Well, I assume they could be a guy or a woman, I don't know. But two people that are work for the Pentagon presently. So whatever comes out of their mouth basically is coming from the Pentagon, because the Pentagon's not going to let them out there and let them flap their lips unless they've vetted all the material that they're going to say. So anyways, figure this is coming from the Pentagon. Figure it's going to be pretty important. Now, in a little bit of a review, as you know, in the past few months, there's been some, I don't want to say there were hearings at all, but there was some information that was put out about 143 or so sightings from 2004 to the present that have been, I guess, unidentified, basically UFOs, but unidentified. And again, they like to call UFOs UAPs, which is unidentified aerial phenomena. So that's what kind of the new term is. So if you hear that thrown around, that's what they're talking about, UFOs, basically. So anyways, so some of the things I guess I want to kind of, there's probably four things that I want you to look for. And these are things that I'm going to look for because this will make this a blockbuster if any of these come up. Okay, if like I said, if not, it's just going to be the normal kind of dance of I don't want to say disinformation. I don't think it'll be so much disinformation, but it won't be much information. Is really what it is. But if one of these or several of these things that I'm gonna go over with you pop up, then we got something here. Then this is big. This is getting close to, I would say, disclosure. And I think a lot of people should start paying attention to this. A lot of researchers like myself have said for many, many years. I'm not just, understand something. I don't really go out of the house to look up in the sky very much at UFOs. I know they exist. It's not that important. Yes, if I happen to look up and see a really beautiful one, I'd probably make a comment. Wow, that's a beautiful UFO, or this, that, and the other, because I've seen so many of them. And I've had encounters, and again, I've done hundreds of interviews with contactees and abductees, and had some of my own personal experiences. So this is, I think what is important about it is that the seriousness of the matter gets to the public and lets them know. I don't think we need to scare the public. Absolutely not. I mean, aliens and UFOs have been around for a very, very long time. And the question always is how do they influence our society? That's probably what we need to get to, because obviously they have been. Some of them, I believe, minimally, and other ones strongly. Okay? So, anyways, so here are the four things I think you should look for. If it's stated, if it comes out very clearly, and there's no little dance part of it. Okay? Number one is UFOs are not of human or Earth origin. I should have said some of them. Of course, there's going to be a lot of UFOs that are just planes, and they're from man-made type sources. They could be from other countries. They could be from us. They could be from a lot of sources that are human. Okay, but there is a fairly decent percentage that are not. And so if they bring that up and they make a statement, not of human or Earth origin, really important. Okay, number two. Next thing would be is ETs, alien non-humans, are directing them. Okay, that's another really big statement. If they say something like that, we got something. They will also, I'm not saying they're going to, but if they also make a comment that they may or may not be of threat, but of some type of concern, I think that would be a big statement too. And I think you need to look for that too. Here's a little bit of an oddball that I think is important. I don't know if they're going to say it, but I truly do believe that this is a true statement, that UFOs have been sighted in the Ukraine war. Somewhere's on the battlefield or somewhere's around it. I don't know if they'll go that far. That would be huge. But the reason I bring that up is I've heard from some sources of mine, but it seems like every war, every fairly major war there has been, and I'm talking about Vietnam, I'm talking about in Afghanistan, Iraq, World War II, there's been UFO sightings and impact from UFOs during these battles and during the war. Some really interesting stuff, actually. So I'm going to tell you, I have no doubt that in Ukraine there's been sightings. You'll probably hear about them, see them. I can't stick one right in your face right now, but I believe that to be true. So anyways, with all that said, it's tomorrow, May 17th, and I think if you're really interested in this subject matter, you should really stay tuned. I'm sure there'll be a great summary. I'm sure YouTube will play it after the fact. You can watch it then. It's always sometimes fun to watch it live because you don't know what's going to exactly happen. Now, I'm really hoping they don't change anything. Now, I wouldn't be overly surprised if suddenly they cancel it or postponed it in the future. That could happen, and if that happens, I'm sorry, but this will all be valid because I'm sure it's gonna come up again fairly soon. I think there is a pretty heavy demand, not only from the House of Representatives, it looks like, but also the Senate. I've talked about it in the previous video that, a couple of the senators have really been pushing. I think Rubio is one, and Christian Gillian was another one, and Kirsten, I'm sorry. And anyway, so they've been pushing hard from their end also. So I think it's got enough momentum now, and I think it'll probably happen tomorrow. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, but the material will still be very much valid. So anyways, with all that said, thank you. And if you like us, please like us. You want to send us a kind of more private email about a subject matter. And of course, we always take suggestions of things that you'd like to see from us. So you can send that to dimensionalwalking@gmail.com. And please subscribe. We really need your subscriptions. Someday I like to pay for a few of our expenses. So, but anyways, we're going to keep on pumping out information to you. Some of it you're going to love, some of it you may not. That's fine too. But anyways, bye-bye. We'll see you in the future. We'll see you. Bye-bye.